Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
First-time filings for unemployment insurance jumped unexpectedly last week after some improvement in recent weeks. 861,000 claims is the highest in a month. The hope is falling infection rates and increasing vaccinations will help businesses and services resume. But new claims for unemployment show the labor market is struggling to regain momentum. Supplemental unemployment benefits expire next month.
Yes. Unemployment. It's a barometer right there. How are we doing? How aren't we doing? Matters. We all participate in the economy. Whether you like it or not, everybody participates in the economy. We do. The pandemic is still playing a part in the economy. Now, we spent more last month. We were up about 5.3%. A lot of that had to do with the stimulus that some people got. That first $600, they went out and spent it. Got to spend it. But that wasn't like the first round. The first round, people were like, wow, this thing's not going to last very long time. Go out and buy myself a new TV. Go do some stuff. A lot of this was just necessities, survival. The coronavirus isn't going anywhere anytime soon. You know it. I know it. It sucks. More and more. As we have to look, by the way, we have talked about this. We hit the coronavirus about December before last, before it was even thought. I kept saying, something's coming. Nobody's like, something, let's watch. Producer Phil, producer Anthony, myself, we're like, dude, something's going on over there. I feel like something's going to happen. And when it got here, and we started to realize what this thing was, and it was like, well, we may have to live like this for a bit. We may have to do this. The reality is, at this moment in time, if you talk to most epidemiologists, most people who deal in this stuff, they all say the same thing. It's going to be endemic. It's not going anywhere. Now, it may eventually get to the point where it's virtually nothing, even without a shot, but it may crop up every now and then to pop up here and there. But short term, it's not going anywhere. And the effects on the economy, on you and I, and now with the weather that's going on throughout Texas and the Southeast and stuff, is going to delay us getting vaccines nationwide, which is pushing back people getting vaccinated. In fact, not only is it pushing back, know this, it is doing a lot of things to us, including life.
Life expectancy in the U.S. fell from 78.8 years in 2019 to 77.8 in the first half of 2020, according to data from the CDC. That significant drop set in as the pandemic hit the U.S. and the death toll mounted. Minorities were hit particularly hard, with Black Americans losing nearly 3 years off their life expectancy and Hispanics nearly 2.
Yeah. Life expectancy has dropped because of this thing. From a crushing economy to the health effects to the mental health side of it, from children on up, this has been an ass kicker. There's no doubt about it. Now, we're going to get through this thing, but it isn't going to happen tomorrow. And I think I've been pretty, look, I'm a straight shooter. I'm going to tell you not what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you what you need to hear, which is the facts and truth. That's it. Not your truth, not somebody else's truth. I'm going to give you everything. I've said all along, we're going to have to learn to live with this thing, through this thing, and around this thing. It is not going to just magically disappear, former Mr. President. It is not going to just all of a sudden slow down to virtually nothing, but again, pops up here and there. But by and large, it's not just going to, we take these vaccines and then it goes away and we really don't see it again. It is going to be here for a while. So living with it, through it, and around it is what we need to realize we're going to have to do for the foreseeable future. If people are willing to do that, and I think the majority of Americans are. And that includes living their life as if it's not here. You recognize that it is here, but you're not going to spend your entire life living behind a mask, separating from your family and friends. We can't do that. As a society, as human beings, this is not possible. It's not what we're about. So even with the vaccines, even with all these other things, be prepared. Because you heard the other night, they're asking Biden, and he's like, well, I don't want to make predictions. It could be having Christmas. And no, look, here's the prediction that I'm going to throw out there. Chad Stradamus. We're going to have to learn to live with it, through it, and around it. And for some people out there, you're going to have to make calculated risk. If you decide not to take a vaccine and you don't think it's anything big deal, that's a you thing. But our governors and our leaders need to get out of the way and allow us to start living our lives. It's a must. It is. Life expectancy fell. Okay. Maybe that was to be expected. But we're not even, we still haven't even hit the financial nightmare because there is a delay, and we have not hit the mental health side nightmare. And I think we're going to see that when our kids finally get back out there and in school, and we're able to take a deep breath. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. Love hearing from you. So Biden the other night, he talked about, it's mostly not Latino people. It's mostly people who've flown over from like Sweden and they've overstayed their visa, which we know is a bunch of crap. You guys know that. I know. And by the way, it's not 11 million people. This number, this arbitrary number has been stuck at 11 million for I don't know how long. I have no idea. I think it's going on about 8 or 10 years. But today, it's immigration time.
Democrats on Capitol Hill today are expected to unveil an immigration reform bill, keying in on the priorities laid out by President Biden on the first day he took office. The legislation would create an 8-year path to citizenship for the 11 million undocumented people in this country. That includes the so-called dreamers who were brought to the U.S. as children and the most vulnerable immigrants coming from war zones or fleeing gang violence. They would get a green card after passing background checks. History has shown it is not easy to get immigration bills passed no matter what party's in power. The Biden administration is hoping to break that trend.
Yeah, and that's going to be tough for him to do. It is. The pathway to citizenship is always going to be tough, especially when you're essentially telling everybody, the door's open, come on over. You'll have a shot of getting citizenship in 8 years. Some people wait 10 plus years to get the opportunity to come here while they wait in their country. And the rules start to change. War-torn, now it's gang violence. This is what pisses people off. Of all the things, I don't think he's an uber left-winger. I don't think any of those things. I don't think, I know a lot of people, like somebody said yesterday, he's a Marxist. I said, tell me how he's a Marxist. And of course he didn't hear from it because he's not a Marxist. He's not an uber left-winger. He's a pragmatic politician who's going, all right, let me see what I can get done. He's trying to appease the base, keep part of his party quiet that wants to do crazy stuff, try to work across the aisle, all while the pandemic's going on, and try to figure out how he can, jumpstart the economy and get people feeling a little bit better and not thinking to themselves, oh, my God, did that door handle I just touched, is that going to kill me? But this right here, from the night in the second debate when he said, well, I'm going to find a pathway to citizenship for 11 million people, I said, sorry. I can't vote for you. I can't. It's not possible. And it has nothing to do. I understand why people come here. It's nothing to do with the color of your skin or where you come from. It's all to do we have a rule of law. We have rules in place. Fix the system. This won't be fixing the system. This will be giving people the opportunity to become citizens who basically did what they needed to do for survival. We'd all do the same thing. If you say, I would never do, you would totally do that. Abso-freaking-lutely would. But in saying that, there's no system fix in this. It's just, well, if you're here, you'll have the pathway, we'll figure it out. The door's still wide open. Once again, I use the analogy. We're trying to find out who the stowaways are on the ship so we can make sure that they're taken care of All the while, the ship is sinking, and nobody's trying to figure out how to stop the leak. All the problems that I've had with so many of our presidents. Immigration is the biggest game, and they don't want to fix it. Stop looking at these parties as parties of representing ideals of this or that. They're corporations. At the end of the day, tonight, if they can piss people off, evoke emotion, and shoot emails and text messages out to donors and to voters to raise money, whether it's about choice, guns, free speech, immigration, that's a win for them. It's not a win for the people who are in the middle of this, and it's not a win for the average American. It's just frustration. But this is a no-go for me. And I think for most of you as well. Even my friends who are on the left are like, that's insane. And they all say the same thing. 11 million people. Where does anybody get that number? Because they pull it out of their ass, and then people play it enough on television and throw it out in the newspaper, and they buy into it. It's not. It's probably closer to 20. I wouldn't be surprised if it's more. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. A lot of stuff to get to today. We're going to touch on the passing of Rush Limbaugh, the good and the bad. I put it all in. Put it all in. Plus, we're going to Mars. We're going to Mars. That is amazing. Do you understand how cool that is? Amazing. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet, text, love hearing from you. All right, AMAC, Association of Mature American Citizens. You know, we're just talking about fighting on your behalf and what these corporations do. You need people fighting on your behalf. AMAC is one of those fastest growing over 50 organizations in the country. They're out there fighting for things like common sense immigration reform, making sure that Social Security and Medicare are all solvent, that they're there and that they're going to be there for you when it's time to take it. Now, maybe you're not 65. You're not going to take Social Security, Medicare anytime soon, but you do need insurance. They've got benefits to help you with that. They've got all kinds of benefits from retail, restaurant, hotel discounts, travel discounts, car insurance. You name it, they've got it, and they'll help you out. Now's the time to join. It's about $16 a year, so that's nothing. Join it today. Simple and easy. Go to amac.us/Chad, amac.us/Chad. $16, pennies a day. For all those benefits, amac.us/Chad. Chad Benson Show.
Set Chad straight. Text the show, 323-538-2423. That's 323-538-CHAD. Someone has to do it. Might as well be you. The Chad Benson Show.
We have been without power for 3 days now. It's so cold in my house that my milk is frozen, and we cannot find a hotel, and we cannot get any relief, period.
Yeah, I mean, I joked earlier because I was saying, tweeted out that I feel the pain of our brothers and sisters in Texas. I feel the pain. Because last night when I went golfing and hit golf balls for 2.5 hours, I had to put on tracksuit top. Not the whole time, because then I got hot. Such a jerk. I lived in Europe. I've been in snow. I've been in sleet. I've been in cold snaps and we handle it different. People's like, how is it, like Governor Abbott. So originally the blame, it's, people are showing pictures of the frozen wind turbines and all those kind of things. Most of it's, the electricity and the natural gas is what a lot of it runs off. I think Austin's one of the places where they do have, because they're keeping it weird and they're kind of a liberal place and they like that stuff. But at the end of the day, it wasn't built for winter. Nothing like this. Of the 200 counties or something, I think every one of them is under a winter weather advisory and will be as more and more snow comes at least for the next probably 48 plus hours. Next week, they're back in the 60s. This entire situation, though, is they're not built for this. That's what I always tell people. Like, if we get a rain or a dusting of snow, which we got like 2 or 3 weeks ago in a few little cities right here around Phoenix, it's, people drive crazy, but I'm like, we're not built for this. We're set up for summer. We're not set up for winter. So when rain comes and people are like, why do people drive so bad there? Well, because we haven't had rain in a year. So there's so much yuck on the ground that it becomes slick, like black ice. Some places are built for certain things. Texas is built for summer. It's not built for winter. Okay? That is what it's about. The grid was not built to handle this. It's built to handle 95 with 80% humidity to keep your house cool, not 5 and freezing. And people they don't even know what to do. They have no power. Some places, they've run out of food. People are waiting in lines. I think it was Whataburger. It was like a 3-hour wait. Whataburger's okay. It weren't 3 hours. I'll tell you that right now.
We're bringing water in today. The human suffering, though, that is occurring through this is very, very concerning.
Yeah, because you're not built for that. And you didn't see it coming. And it is the perfect storm. I saw that movie. Got the perfect. Everything's kind of, just heading towards each other and convert. Oh, my. And that's what you have. You notice you don't hear much about what's going on in the Midwest, who are having cold snaps. They're really bad. Well, because they're built for that. They're not built for 100 degrees and 75% humidity. Here, we're not built for freezing. We're built for summer, which lasts a long time in Phoenix. Let's let you guys know. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show. Your Twitter, tweet at us, text the program. We're going to touch on the passing of Rush Limbaugh, as well as GameStop gets a hearing in court, kind of.
The Chad Benson Show.
Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
I know that I am most certainly not the Limbaugh that you tuned in to listen to today. I, like you, very much wish Rush was behind this golden microphone right now. For over 32 years, Rush has cherished you, his loyal audience. It is with profound sadness I must share with you directly that our beloved Rush, my wonderful husband, passed away this morning due to complications from lung cancer.
Catherine Limbaugh, yesterday. I think everybody knew it was coming. He had been very open about what was going on. He announced last year, right around this time, that he was sick.
I have been diagnosed with advanced lung cancer.
And it was advanced. It was a very fast, quick-moving lung cancer. And it was one of those things where you just didn't feel good one day. And, maybe, there's times when I think people miss signs and they had opportunities, but they pass it off as one thing or another. Or they have a feeling there might be something and they don't want to hear. Talked about, a lot of different things with this and how it made him feel. And he was very open on the air with that.
There are going to be days that I'm not going to be able to be here because I'm undergoing treatment or I'm reacting to treatment.
Like February 2nd was his last show, and he just couldn't get back. There's a lot to talk about with Russ. I'm going to be 100% honest. He was very nice to me. And he gave me some, like, hey, don't let your audience paint you into a corner. The first, and I always try to tell everybody, look, were there controversies? Of course. First, you can't be in the business as long as he was without controversies. But I separate Rush out to different parts of careers and who he was. Kind of like Barry Bonds, right? Roger Clemens. Were they Hall of Famers before Barry Bonds' head grew and his shoes grew and he looked like he was going up there with a piece of timber that he just pulled at home runs? Yeah, he was before that. The first several years of Rush's national show, so he started in Sacramento, KFBK, his station. And small station, then they got rid of the fairness doctrine. Reagan's like, oh, we don't need this thing, let's get rid of it. Fairness doctrine it wasn't about equal time, it was giving both sides' point of view. Kind of what we do here. We're going to give you our opinion. It's not about, so the fairness doctrine, they got rid of that. And then Mr. McLaughlin said, hey, I got an idea. Let's take this guy out. We're going to syndicate him. What's syndication? By then, stuff was starting to happen. You were starting to see radio stations get gobbled up. And instead of owning one station, people were owning 10 kind of things that was coming. And he went out and just told everybody, all right, here's the deal. You guys, you're going to have the show for free. Just give me a few minutes of airtime. An hour. Okay. We're going to have the show. And boom, away it went. He hit the perfect storm. But the first several years, what Rush became to what he was an entertainer. He was a storyteller. He was fun. And he had fun. He had so much fun. And it was fun to listen to. And of course there was controversy. The minute he would talk about abortion, there's a vacuum sound. And the things that he did, yes. He'd make fun of Rio Linda. If you don't know where that's in, it's in Northern California. Not the sharpest tools in the shed, is kind of what they're saying. And later on, though, in the second part of his career, when he got massive and he became the kingmaker in conservative circles, things changed. And his audience grew with him. They became more staunch. And he said, if I veer away from things that they don't want to hear, or I have fun when they think I should be serious, they let me know. But yeah, he had tons of controversy. He said things that were like, wow, when you look at it. People yesterday were, first of all, they're awful. Let's just be real. All the tolerant people out there, you know who you are. I said something today. I did a hit on another station talking about this. I said, Johnny Rotten, for those of you guys don't know who he is, the lead singer of the Sex Pistols. And Johnny was anti-government, anti-everything, but their big fame was during the Thatcher times. Thatcher was, everybody's like, Reagan and Thatcher were super uber conservatives. When she died, he paid her great praise and basically told everybody to piss off who was mean to a person in their death. And so many people, I saw that yesterday. But much like with Kobe, you can't talk about Rush without all the other stuff. The Sandra Fluke thing, I will tell you this right now, it hurt our business tremendously. It did. When he said what he said, it hurt our business. The way that he went about doing things and also courting division, because that's what you do. You say things to rile up your base, his fan base, who loved him and followed him. That's why he was a kingmaker. He wasn't everybody's cup of tea. But from the professional side, where I come from, I understand what he meant to this business. Because of him, there was opportunities for the likes of me and many others. I do things differently, a little bit more fun, but brilliant, absolutely. And yes, divisive. And he said things that were awful. And for some people, it was just beyond awful. And for other people, it was, oh, that's the right thing to say. He's a legend. He was a kingmaker. He was a lot of things. And he's gone now. He is. But what he built, helped build modern radio, saved AM radio, and that was huge. And it's not going anywhere. It isn't. And there's a lot of imitators out there. We don't try to imitate. I'm sorry. I want to talk about a lot of stuff. A lot of different things. I want to talk about a lot of different things. And yeah, the controversy will be, I'm going to hit you with facts, and I'm going to call you on your BS. You're going to call me on my BS, and we're going to go back and forth. We're going to open-minded. Some people aren't into that. They pick the lane. He did that. He knew his audience and what he was looking for, and that's the way he became a trailblazer. Much like Howard Stern. Said the things a lot of people thought at times, did things that were over the top and outrageous. And they were kind of tied at the hip. Howard said he stole my bit. Rush said I'm truly the king of media. They battled back and forth in a lot of ways. He was a giant, much like Howard is. But yes, controversy was there. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. Tweet at us. Text the program. Love hearing from all of you today. So you guys remember GameStop? Let's go back. Like GameStop. You guys remember what happened with GameStop? GameStop was going to be it. This is it. And people got into it because of Robinhood, the opportunity to gamify in some ways, and as some people say, democratize trading. It gave people opportunities to trade and do things they'd never thought before. The average person, the 22-year-old with the $50 or whoever, they could throw a little money in and they could do some stuff. And oh my goodness! And other people went to Reddit. They've been there and they have what they call meme stocks, and they saw the opportunity to do something to hedge funds, and it became kind of this game of revenge. And away it went. And away it went. A lot of people threw money at it. Then Robinhood got in over their head. Well, today they're going to have their say in, if you will, the court of public opinion, but also to Congress. Because Congress wants to know. And I said from the beginning, here's what's going to happen. The little investor is going to get in way too late. They're going to buy at 100 or 200, and they're going to get their ass handed to them. The bigger funds, and some of which there were other people out there who were on Reddit pushing this, made a ton of money. They've jumped out. They went the other direction, and they've made some more money on the way down. And the individual investor had the first time to have stuff where they could instantly get involved and feel like they were part of something, jumped in at the wrong time, and now they're going to go before Congress today. And you know what happens at this point. Well, do we need more rules? Do we need more regulations? Do we need to take things out of people's hands? Do we need to babysit people? Is that what we need to do? You know that's what's going to happen, and that's what pisses me off.
It'll be the first time we'll hear public comments from major players at the center of GameStop's trading fiasco. Later today, CEOs from major financial institutions and social media platforms will have to answer questions from the House Financial Services Committee. Vlad Tenev, the CEO of the trading platform Robinhood, has recently been criticized for his decision to temporarily restrict certain trading on stocks like GameStop during its massive January surge. Lawmakers are also expected to grill Tenev on his company's revenue model, among other issues.
And that's the big thing. Here's the thing. Why Robinhood was a hot mess is because they were the hot mess. They didn't have enough money. They're a clearinghouse. They're essentially the middleman between I've got an app, I've got this, I'm giving you the opportunity to take your money and invest it. Very little commission comes to us, being the middleman, and then we go out and we purchase and we do this, and we're going to give you real time and all these things, and we're going to make it simple and easy. We're going to keep it simple, stupid. But they have to cover trades because there's a delay in the money. And then when GameStop went out of control, all of a sudden the market started saying, hey, you know what? We over here at the clearinghouse, we over here, we're asking you for more money. We're going to shoot up. People want to trade options. They want to short. They want to do a bunch of stuff. We don't know if they're good for it. So we're going to make you good for it, and then you make them good for it. And they didn't have the money. But you hear what they're bringing in. They're bringing in all the financial institutions. They're bringing in all the social media people. This is what you should be watching and going, hold on, what's going on? Because they're going to try to regulate. And when they start to throw regulations on, who does that hurt the most? It hurts the average person. Because through more regulations, it'll make it tougher for you to play in their game. And that's a game you need to be in. That's a game you want to be in. That's a game where you create revenue, income, and wealth. And now they're going to put people essentially in a public trial to berate them and to then call for more government regulation. It's silly. People learn lessons. They did. You should learn how to trade. You should learn how the market operates. But this right here should piss you off because I know what's coming next. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is Twitter. Your Instagram as well. Just crazy yesterday, just watching the hate for Rush. I get that people, you know what? It's amazing. And like I say, the tolerant are so intolerant. And they seem to think that they have some moral right to have a disdain for other people, that their hatred morally is superior. And that doesn't get you anywhere, kids. It doesn't. I'm telling you, it does not. Raycon, best earbuds around. That will get you somewhere. It'll get you into the world of feeling good and rocking out. I wear my Raycons. Last night, they finally ran out of steam. I charged them Saturday, and I have played golf pretty much every day. And through all of this, I haven't had to charge them again. And finally, just before I left last night, after almost 2.5 hours of hitting golf balls and working out, they finally went, power off. Charged them up, they're ready to go. 6 hours of talk time, seamless Bluetooth pairing, better sound quality, better design, and not once last night. Not one time when I'm out there and I'm swinging hard and I'm working out, not one time did I have to push my earbuds back in because there is no stems, there is no wires, they don't get in the way, and you barely feel them. And even with the wind whipping, heard everything great, had a couple phone calls, nobody could tell that wind was whipping. It's that good. Get yours now. Start well under $100 rather than pay $200 or $300 for some sort of brand that you think, oh, this is great. Get these and be blown away. 45-day money-back guarantee and save an extra 15%. Go to buyraycon.com/Chad. 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 Chad Benson Show.
Irreverent? Yeah. So what? It's the Chad Benson Show.
But the film is a sad thing for she's lived it 10 times or more. She could spit in the eyes of fools if they ask her to focus on sailors fighting in the dance hall.
Little Life on Mars from Bowie. Are we going to find life on Mars? That's what we're doing today. That's what we're doing today, guys. I want you guys to understand how cool this is. I want you guys to understand the coolness of us going to Mars. Now, we've been there before. Jet Propulsion Laboratory, JPL. Do you remember the first rover? I think it was like 94, 95, went up there. It was totally, oh my God, it was amazing. The thing I remember from that, too, was the Mattel had Hot Wheel little Mars rovers that were selling, and they couldn't keep them in stock. But we're going there now. Why?
We go to the most promising site to really unlock the information about that web past and the question, was there ancient life during that period where on Earth life was arising?
We're going there for sure to take a look and see if life was arising from all the things right there for that's happening. That is Thomas Zurbuchen. Thomas Zurbuchen. So we're heading up there. Now, producer Phil, you've got it set up 3:55 today. It happens the whole 9 yards. They've got the 7 minutes of silence, which is the terror. Are you recording this at home?
Absolutely, I am.
Nerd! I love it. It is awesome. So we're going to go see if there's life. Life before. Now, we already know there's life there, right? Now, they can talk about.
It's, of course, trying to make significant progress in answering one of the questions that has been with us for many centuries, namely, are we alone in the universe?
Are we alone in the universe? Well, let me tell you, we already know, according to many people, like that Israeli professor who used to be like their the highest ranking military person, who said there is already a federation beneath the surface of Mars where they've got a full, like, operational airfield and all that stuff. And, yes, we know that. The 7 minutes of silence is the fact that we're not going to have any cameras through there because they don't want us to see what's going on. For real. Just letting you know. What? Chad Benson Show.
This is the Chad Benson Show. Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
We call it the 7 minutes of terror because it takes approximately 7 minutes for the spacecraft to make it from the top of the Martian atmosphere to safely wheels on the ground. But it's terrifying because the spacecraft has to manage that descent stage all by itself.
It's not terrifying. You're not there. You don't know. How cool is this? We're going to Mars. I love it. I think it's amazing. We got the coronavirus. We have all this. Imagine the time that we live in. And let's just, for a second, take a step back and imagine the time that we live in. We have instantaneous access to be an a-hole to anybody on Earth 24/7. We can also Skype with our friends. We can also do things that we never thought about. We can pay with our phone. We can walk over to somewhere. Bloop! We are going to be landing at Mars. And it's mind-boggling. When you think about where we were, go back 100 years ago. Prince Philip, who is the Queen's husband, he's 99 years old. Think about that guy's scene. Think about the things that guy has seen in his lifetime. We're like, the moon? Been there. Ha! We already own it. Now we're going to Mars again. And we've been at Mars since, what, the 90s? I think we originally went there in the 70s, but the rover, the first one. And now here we are. Perseverance is landing. Oh, my God. This is the coolest thing. Yeah, coronavirus is out there. It's not going anywhere at this moment in time. And it's affecting the job market, which is affecting the economy, which affects everybody. So it's a giant. We got a vaccine. Let's think about this for a second. As you get the vaccines ready, and they get them out right now because of the weather throughout the country, vaccines are going to be delayed. But for a moment, think about it. Moderna said they cracked this. They cracked this in less than 48 hours. And what people don't realize when it comes to these things, the little things, whether it's us on our phone every day texting, oh my God, or tweeting out something, I think that person's the biggest jerk in the world, blah, 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 blah. Or whether you're using Tupperware, or whether we're trying to solve the mystery of viruses. Technology. It's huge. It's massive. Technology. And many of that came from Space, us trying to go to space, us trying to get there. And so much of those things filter down to us. And that is amazing. It really is. It's incredible. Now, it comes in different ways, and I think we all know that. The aliens came down, gave us a lot of stuff. First, like, are we going to give you guys math? No. Give them an alphabet. Are we going to give you guys an alphabet? And then it was like, are we going to give you guys math? Chad, that's not true. But I just find this to be fascinating that we live in such a time. I was telling my son, Jack, understand that this right here is groundbreaking in the things that he's going to see in his life. I turned 50 last year. I expect to live, God willing, I'm shooting for 100. But between now and God, the next hopefully 50 years, the things that we're going to be able to do through technology, the stuff that we're going to be able to do to change things is incredible. And little things like that. Why are they spending money on this? Why are they doing that? Because through things like this, we benefit. Through things like this, we get, if you will, the hand-me-downs. Makes life better and easier for all of us. And I just find it fascinating. And yes, there will be 7 minutes of terror. And the reason for that is pretty simple. Because if you didn't have the 7 minutes of terror, then we would actually see that there are already aliens there. That's what the guy in Israel said. And he was their top space guy. And he says, of course there is. Of course there is. Why are we going there for real, though?
The rover, after traveling 300 million miles in 7 months, will touch down on an ancient lake called Jezero, a site where ancient life may have been best preserved. The mission behind the $2.7 billion landing is to collect rock samples and bring them back to Earth to look for signs of microbial life.
I just find it fascinating. 7 months. Could you do 7 months? Probably, I guess, if I had to. What do I get? It's just, we're in my lifetime. This is what I love about this. And this is why I get pumped, because I'm optimistic about all the things. We're going to get through coronavirus. We're going to have to learn to live with it, through it, around it. But eventually our bodies, the nature, the things that we do, we're going to beat this thing. We're going to come through it. Our economy is still going to boom again. We are the shining beacon of hope in the world. And we need to remind everybody that every once in a great while. This is awesome. This is incredible. And the amount of things that we're going to see and things that are going to happen in our lifetimes and the opportunities we're going to have, so cool. It is so cool. It's otherworldly, literally otherworldly. We're going to have space travel, not just for the ultra rich, but for the kind of rich. And then eventually, we're going to have it for probably everybody. And by that, I mean mostly in the West. But some of the Chinese, they're going to go, but they're going to be upper, but it's going to happen. We have guys like Elon Musk who are like, yeah, we're going to do it. We're going to Mars. We're going to send people to space. We're going to build hotel. It's going to happen in our lifetimes. And I find that to be incredible. And so many people are always looking at the negative things. And negative, and it's going to happen. We're going to get through this nightmare. Things are going in a great direction. And it's the frustration I hear always out there from people. It's always the negative. I can't live in the world of negativity. It just doesn't do me any good. Never does. I look at the positive, I look at the big things. And that's why today I find this to be the most fascinating thing. 7 months. Mile after mile, this thing is going to come through the atmosphere of Mars. It's going to have to slow down like, that's why they were talking about the craziness. So it's going to, and this is Perseverance, decelerate. So it's going from more than 12,000 miles per hour to a full stop in 7 minutes. That's why they call it 7 minutes of terror. So that's awesome. And then it's going to go and it's going to roam around, and there's going to be a mini helicopter on it, like a droney thing. They're going to fly around that we're going to control from here. Why is my internet so slow? Great question. We'll get to that. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. Other stuff today. Job numbers, not great. Let's be real. They weren't great. Some were bad. Some were good. There were some increases in some places and other places. Well, they weren't great, but that has to do. We understand what that's about. That's about the coronavirus. That's about uncertainty. That's about when's the vaccine coming? When are we taking these damn masks off? When are we going to be able to live normal life?
First-time filings for unemployment insurance jumped unexpectedly last week after some improvement in recent weeks. 861,000 claims is the highest in a month. The hope is falling infection rates and increasing vaccinations will help businesses and services resume. But new claims for unemployment show the labor market is struggling to regain momentum. Supplemental unemployment benefits expire next month.
Yeah. Some good news, some bad news, but we expect that. And I think things will take off and will start to rock sooner rather than later. They still have a stimulus to get to that they're still battling over. And that $15 unemployment, that's probably going to be yanked out of. There's going to be some stuff in there we don't like, and there's going to be some stuff in there that's okay. It's going to get there. But the most important thing is that we get back to living life normally. And that's kids back in school. That's us back at work or starting a new job or looking for a new job that you know you're going to be able to actually have and not have to worry about them closing because they come in and say, oh, we got to wear a mask and only 2 people are allowed in here at once, and that's only once a day. We're going to get to that point sooner rather than later. Going to happen. And I think once we get there, we're going to take off. Some states are going to do better than others, but it's happening. And this is a delay with the vaccines because of the weather. Texas right now is struggling. But, I mean, we talk about Texas, but it's not just Texas. It is a lot of places. Texas gets the big eyeballs because this is once in a century scenario for Texas. And the people are struggling there because they weren't built for this. Not the people, the power grids. They're built for heat, not cold. They're built for some cold, but not this kind of cold. But across the country, there's delays. A week from now, this will be gone. It'll warm up a little bit. We'll be back to getting vaccines out there and hopefully getting ourselves more and more open up. So when we hit summer, we're back to almost a normalish way of life. And by next fall, we're roaring again. Got to be hopeful. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. Love hearing from all of you. I do love and hate. I joke earlier about the hate side of things, but it's true. We're going to talk about it. Like, I'm always amazed at how people are. It's like it doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter what you say. You can post a picture of a baby and somebody's going, that's the ugliest kid I've ever seen. Well, it was just voted the prettiest baby in the world. That's an ugly baby. People are miserable. Can't do that. Don't do that. Why you do that? What is that about? My God, like Eeyore, like we knew why he was miserable. Somebody nailed his tail on his ass. He was like, this sucks. What they should have done is go, hey, why don't we get that out? Make him feel better. But instead they're like, no, he's gloomy. Jeez. Rough Greens, ruffgreens.com/Chad. Give it to my dogs. I give it to my dog Doodle. We tried it about a year ago with Doodle. Say, you know what? If we can't get him feeling better. So here's my dog. We give him dog food. We give him great dog food. But he was struggling. He was older. His hips were bad. He's got fatty tumors. He's arthritis. It was a struggle. We didn't know what to do. So we gave him Rough Greens. Supplement, put it on top. Because we learned there's nothing in the food that we feed him that's really alive at all. So with Rough Greens, it brought it to life. You got vitamins, minerals, digestive enzymes, probiotics, omega-3, 6, 9, all this stuff. And a supplement, just powder, you put it on top. Delicious. They loved it. A year later, he's happier and bouncier at times than our other dogs who are 1 and almost 1. And it's amazing. It is incredible, the turnaround. Do this for your dog. Try it out. Rough Greens putting their money where their mouth is. You can try it before you buy it. Cover the cost of shipping. $8.95. Get your free bag of Rough Greens. Visit roughgreens.com/Benson. RUFFgreens.com/Benson. Or call 833-MY-DOG-77. 833-MY-DOG-77. Try it before you can buy it. It's free. Rough Greens, they make any pet food better. Chad Benson Show.
Check out our Chad Benson Show Facebook page where you can hang out or hang your grievances out to dry. This is Chad Benson.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition. Liftoff.
Now it's time to find out what's trending. What's trending? Yeah, what does that mean? I mean something, right? Like it's trending on the old internet. What's trending? Let's take a peek, find out what's trending on the interwebs. NASA. Very excited. Perseverance, the rover. On Mars. Just the thought process of all this stuff. It's awesome. I love it. I love people with big visions. I can't wait till we go farther. It's going to happen. I can't wait till we go up there. It's going to happen. It is. Trending big time. Ted Cruz is trending. We're going to talk about that because he's in Cancun while everybody in Texas freezes. Yesterday, biggest search, though, was Rush Limbaugh. Passing of Rush yesterday. Age 70. Died of cancer. We'll talk about that a little later. Give you my perspective, and it's a real one. It's an honest one. It's not some you hear some people like, oh my God, it's the greatest thing of this for the world, and some other people like, he was the devil. No, he was an individual. He was a human. He's a flawed person. But there was greatness there, and there was flaws there, and there were mistakes there. You can't, nowadays it's either or, and it's not the way that it should be. You know that, and I know that. Just to let you guys know, if you think it's cold in Texas, it's snowing in Saudi Arabia. So, letting you guys understand that. Rick Ashley is trending because he has remastered Never Gonna Give You Up. We will play it a little bit later. Yoko Ono turns 88. I asked the guys earlier, is she still running around screaming? The answer to that is absolutely. I interviewed her one time, and as God is my witness, no idea what she was talking about. No idea. Do you ever wonder, it's like, what is going on in there? Like, you go home and you're just like, people think I'm crazy. Or is that what you're like 24/7? Because that is a lot. That is a lot. And of course, other things trending. Texas, the weather, it's freezing. It's colder in other places in the country. It is, but this is an anomaly for Texas. This is a once-in-a-century scenario for Texas. You have millions of people still without power, people staying in their cars because their houses haven't had power and they're freezing. Cedar Rapids, at the upper Midwest, this is a daily occurrence during this time. Buffalo, this is a summer day. Texas, it's not. So that's why it's a big deal. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show. I said Chad Baby. Chad Benson Show. We're going to talk about babies and the baby diet. Wait till you hear this.
The Chad Benson Show.
Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
Rush Limbaugh was right all along. Conservative republicanism is the answer.
And the rest of you feminazis, here's the deal.
I'm dangerous because I am right, as in correct, and I'm having a good time being right.
People have called you a sexist.
Right.
People have called you a homophobe.
Right.
Are you?
Oh, of course not. I am simply someone who views events in life and comments on them.
You've also been called arrogant and pompous.
Well, I call it confidence.
No, wait a minute. I don't buy into the notion of white privilege. What can we do to end this so that you are not frustrated and angry? I hate it. I hate you guys.
People.
We're all Americans here.
Rush Limbaugh with talent on loan from God.
Rush Limbaugh passed away yesterday, age 70, of lung cancer. What do I think he was a racist and a sexist? I'm fortunate. Worked this business a long time. No. Rush, as far as met him on a few occasions, he had listened, I think, to a couple pieces of my show. I'd asked him for some advice, especially when I was starting out, getting ready to go and syndicate myself and get syndicated as I work through Radio America and stuff. And it's kind enough. And some of the people I work with, including one person who's extremely important, wouldn't be in the position that I'm in without him, was beyond close to Limbaugh. Like, so tight with him. Rush was a lot of things. And I think what happens is we forget that there's two sides of a story. Now, it's different now because people want to be genuine. And they always say, I am who I am. People, you ask anybody, what's Chad like off air? They're going to say he's probably a little bit crazier and louder. He's like, he's Tigger. He's bouncing around. He's doing all kinds of stuff like that. On air, off air, different. He was a provocateur. He said some stuff that was awful. I'm not going to defend that. I won't. Was it the worst thing in history, as some people make it out to be? No, because people are stupid. People are stupid. They are. I mean, you could hold a picture up of Rush Limbaugh, Pol Pot, who exactly, Chairman Mao, Stalin, and Hitler. And more often than not, anybody under the age of 30 go, that guy over there, Rush Limbaugh, is the worst person ever. Really? Because he was a Richard? Because he said some things that, but Chad, he was what he was supposed to be. He was a provocateur. He challenged the left and politics. He did a lot of things. And like I said, I don't defend everything he did. And I'm not going to defend it. That was his gig. It's not my gig. It's not. He paved the path for many. He shaped radio in a way that was different, but you got to look at the bad, yeah, but you got to look at the good, and people don't do that. I mean, people, they don't. They just automatically assume, well, he said something I didn't like. Yeah, he's feminazis. Get over it. Once again, tell the jury, wear on the doll, his words hurt you. Somebody just tweeted something at me about, all these horrible things and how great, how happy they are that he died. And you just sit there and you think, I don't know how you get that way. I just don't. And it's because most people are petty and they are jealous and they're angry and life has kicked them in the grundle. And rather than standing up, it's just easier to bitch about circumstances. So, he died. It happened. I didn't listen much to his show later on, when he first started. He was so interesting, and it was something that wasn't there. Think about this. It's the jump from the ballads to rock and roll overnight. The crooners, gone. Boom. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, here comes the Elvises and the Chuck Berrys and and it's wah. That's what he was. Perfect storm for him. He took off. They exploited the opportunity in a way that was amazing, and he used his confidence, his belief, and yes, the loud mouths and all of the things that he did, but he was a human being. He was flawed. He was brilliant at times, like all of us. At times he was insecure. He was a human being. But he was memorable. He was memorable. That he was. He evoked emotions, and he changed a medium in a way and saved a portion of it that people are like, whoa, what? How? Because he did what he did, no holds barred, and yes, there were mistakes. Every single person recognizes that. Some people think that's all he was. They can't even look at him as a broadcaster. I said, take away all the other stuff, the stuff that he said. Look at him as a broadcaster. I can't do that. People. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. Today, something is happening at the White House. Something that I'm going to be honest, I'm not thrilled with. I am not thrilled with at all.
That would be an 8-year path to citizenship for the 11 million undocumented people in this country, folks like dreamers, farm workers, and other immigrants who are considered to be among the most vulnerable from places like war zones would essentially get bumped to the front of the line, and they would get green cards immediately if they could pass background checks and other requirements. This would only apply to people who have been in this country since before January 1st of this year.
How would you know? Honestly, how would you know? How would that know? So the immigration bill is going to give people an opportunity to get a green card immediately and a pathway to citizenship. Now, somebody tweeted out earlier or texted or went over to our Facebook page, and please do, said, because I do a local show and I do my national show, and they said, well, you're different on your you say one thing on one show. I said, no, I don't. Everything's the exact same. I've always been fine with dreamers. I've always been fine. And I've always been fine with finding a better pathway to bringing people here and making it easier. We need to expand as a nation. Let's not pretend. We're not having kids like we used to. We need to expand as a nation, but we need to do it legally. I've been the exact same, and I will continue to be. And I was the one who was screaming and yelling, at least on the radio stations here and everywhere else, going, this is why I can never vote for Biden, because he wants to give people 11 million, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, the opportunity to become citizens. And I'm sorry, that's just not the way it should be done. It shouldn't. We need to revamp the system. We need to fix the system. We need to have an overhaul, as they would say. But that won't happen because they're not interested in that. Politicians aren't interested in the fix. They're interested in the problem. They don't want the solution. They want the problem. The longer the problem drags out, the better it is for them. Worse it is for everybody else. And that's the frustrating part of so much of what politics is about. So much of what politics is about is the problem. Hey, we've got to fix. No. Let's focus on the problem. Hey, but we think we can fix. No. This is the problem right here. What's the old saying? There's no money in the cure. There's money in the disease. Now, will the Republicans get on board? No.
Democrats don't appear to have enough Republican support to pass this bill as it stands right now. So the question is, will they go at it alone with just Democrats and no Republican support? That could end up being a very watered down version of this bill. So still a very long way to go on this.
And this is what I've said all along. There are some things that there's hills you're like, all right, guys, this is a hill. We don't need this hill. It's a hill. We'd like to have it, but it's not necessary. So we're not dying on this hill. This is one of those hills. If you're a Republican, you die on this hill. You bust your ass. You make sure none of this crap gets out. Doesn't mean we don't reform. Doesn't mean we don't give people opportunities to come here. Doesn't mean any of those things. But as far as what they're proposing, This is where you go, we're doing it here, guys. We're doing it now. So we shall see if they do it now. We shall see if they're interested in having absolute, true dialogue about trying to find a solution. It's not going to be the perfect solution, but a solution when it comes to immigration. We shall see. I don't know if they will. I doubt it. And I don't know how much the Democrats are going to go it alone. But this has been a huge worry. I talked to Doug Nichols yesterday. He's the guy. He's the Yuma mayor. We interviewed him yesterday, and we messed up his name so many times. My on-air partner, my other show, we called him like 14 different names. But he said, look, in 2019, we had the issue where catch and release, and there wasn't a lot that we could do. Then it changed in 2020, or at the tail end of 2019, and that was what Trump did as far as if you're coming here and you're trying to seek asylum and do all these things, you have to wait on the other side. You have to wait in Mexico. Now, if you're a Mexican, you could come across, supposedly, it's the First Nation status, but even then, that wasn't happening. And he says, and he rolled it back, and so now they're releasing people, not even in the middle of a pandemic, no coronavirus test, no quarantine. He says on average, it's about 2, maybe 3 days at the longest before they have to release them. And they understand it now. They're telling them, hey, yeah, we get it now. It's kind of a free thing to come here. We understand now, and we're going to come. That can't happen. That cannot happen. Let's fix the issues at hand, i.e., I'll use my analogy as I always do. Now that we've got a tear in the boat and it's sinking because we're filling up with the water, let's get that hole fixed and this one over here fixed. And then we can find out who's a stowaway and what we're going to do. Some people want to throw them all out there, back out in the water. We're not going to do that. But we can do some things that are right, that benefit both sides of the aisle, and that will also not make both sides of the aisle happy. But we're not looking for perfection because there isn't perfection. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. We're going to talk about Ted Cruz in a minute because people are blasting him, and I think it's kind of funny because it's cold. I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but in Texas,
roughly 3 days without power. The rolling outages clearly are a lie.
Yeah. It's cold, very cold. And where is Ted? Where is Ted? Ooh, 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. Home title lock. Don't have your house stolen. What's that mean? Having your house stolen is way simpler than you think. And it's not some guy who backs up in a truck and they tie it to the hitch and they drive away with your house. It doesn't work like that. They steal your title. They don't want your house. They want the title to your house. That's where the value's at because they can start taking out loans against it. And cyber criminals do it rather easily. You can go online. Everything is public record. All they have to do, right? So this is all they have to do. Look at the public record, check your address, steal your home. Fake signatures, fake notary. They sign over everything to themselves as if you sold them the home, and then they take out loans. By the time you realize that, it's too late. So, Home Title Lock, they protect you. Home Title Lock is a defense that you need. This is growing because cybercrime is growing. So you need to protect yourself in many different ways. And this is one of them, especially if you're a homeowner or if you have two houses or if you just bought a house. There are more and more people that they're buying houses and then boom, while they're moving in, they're finding out they don't even own the house as far as they're concerned. Home Title Lock alerts you to anything that happens to your title. If they add a comma, if they capitalize a letter, you'll know about it. On top of that, they're going to give you $250,000 of protection. So should something get by them, you'll have the legal team in the fight to take them on in court. Protect your home now. Go to HometitleLock.com. Register your address. Find out if you've been a victim. Get 30 days free protection. Use code radio. HometitleLock.com. Code radio. HometitleLock.com. Code radio. Chad Benson Show.
Being antisocial sucks. Hang with Chad's friends on Facebook, The Chad Benson Show. And if you just need some alone time, head on over to Twitter at Chad Benson Show. Either way, we can't wait to meet the real you.
We're bringing water in today. The human suffering, though, that is occurring through this is very, very concerning.
Yeah. Cold, Texas. Producer Phil, you're in the, I guess, northeastern-ish part of the country. You guys are going to get a cold snap. What's it going to get down to today?
It was 26 when I was coming in, and it's sleeting right now.
Sleeting in the D.C. area. It's cold a lot of places. Northeast is going to get really cold. Midwest is always cold. And Texas is struggling because it's not about the weather. It's about the power grid. And right now, Ted Cruz is nowhere to be found in the great state of Texas because he's in Cancun and people are pissed. This is Blair Erskine, his communications director.
Yes, Senator Cruz is in Cancun right now. But, here at his offices, we say big whoop. Senator Cruz deserves to relax, unwind, unplug, recharge, like you would a power outlet.
He deserves that. People are freaking out over it. I can't believe he's... Why? What if he booked this 3 months ago? Well, you just don't understand. No, tell me. Is he not allowed to go on vacation? Is he not? You didn't. And people on the left are really mad because they hate Ted, and it's a great way to go. Look, his state's freezing and he's gone on vacation. Some people on the right will be mad. It's not a good look. The optics. People are always going to be pissed off at something. If it was beautiful and perfect in Texas and he was down in Cancun right now enjoying time, somebody find something to gripe about. Why aren't you back here working on stuff? Because we've given people the opportunity to gripe. It's the beauty of what we have in social media. Yes, I know, it's crazy. It's crazy. But that's the world we live in. I don't know how cool it is on Mars. I know it's going to be rather warm in certain areas. It was a quick trip to Mars, as we all know.
We've talked about this. 30 Seconds to Mars is the name of a band. It's not a fact.
Still love that. You've never seen it. It's the greatest movie. Never Stop, Stoppin', or whatever it's called. Adam Sandberg. Yeah. I am pumped. Mars. We're there again. This time we're looking for intelligent life. We're like, we got to get off this planet. There's got to be smart people somewhere. Mars, perhaps? How cool is that, kids? Maybe Ted Cruz is there. Chad Benson Show.
This is the Chad Benson Show. Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
We're going to space and beyond. I'm very excited about it. I'm pumped. Space is no longer the final frontier. In fact, you talk to most people here, at least from what we can do. I'm not talking about the people who live in other dimensions, who are further away, who can pop in, like Rick and Morty, right? They go in and out, I'm not talking about that, the portal guns. I'm talking about what we can go to. There's plenty of places here on Earth we can't do real kind of scientific data. I mean, they just found those organisms under all of that ice that's been living there for God knows how long. But today is one giant step for all of us because we're in space.
This is what NASA and the Jet Propulsion Laboratory in California believe it will sound like as Perseverance is landing today. But we'll actually get to hear the real thing. 2 microphones on board will record the landing and sounds of the red planet Perseverance has many duties, mostly related to finding life.
Are we alone?
After traveling 300 million miles at 50,000 miles per hour for 7 months, today Perseverance will enter Mars' atmosphere and will have to deal with 2,300 degrees of fiery heat during the entry.
That is hot. So it's going from 12,000 miles an hour. 12,000 miles an hour is insane. That is incredible. Down to virtually nothing. And that's why they call that the 7 minutes of terror.
We call it the 7 minutes of terror because it takes approximately 7 minutes for the spacecraft to make it from the top of the Martian atmosphere to safely wheels on the ground. But it's terrifying because the spacecraft has to manage that descent stage all by itself.
Yeah. So that is insane. That is absolutely insane. I love it. They're going to do that. Producer Phil's already on it. He's recording it because he's a nerd. But I'm nerdy, too, in some ways. And I love it. Because it offers me hope. And I got tons of hope. I'm loving every second of it. But just more hope. Like, man, my hope bucket's overflowing. It's overflowing. Just things to think about today. When we've got the coronavirus, we've got the vaccine, we have all the stuff happening here. The fact that we're doing this is incredible. And every step like this that we take benefits us down the road in the coming years, the coming decades. This continues to see the growth of us as a species, as humans, and all of those things. And it's just an amazing thing. So to put things in perspective, you know, we talk about all the things that are going on from the chaos and craziness of the vaccine, the fighting in D.C., all of those things. And all of those things are important. You know, what's going on in Texas right now, but also throughout the entire country. There's a huge cold snap. But Texas is important because they don't have power. They have no power because they weren't set up for it. So they're struggling. People are grasping. And like everything, we're looking to blame something. People want Governor Abbott to resign and this, that, and the other. Here's the truth. Their grid wasn't set up for freezing cold like this. It was set up for heat. Because this is a once-a-century situation. I think all 200 counties or whatever are under some sort of watch for winter warm storms and cold snaps. Producer Phil lives out in the D.C. area. They've got sleet. They've got snow. It's going to be probably colder there. They're set up for it. Maine is set up for it. Doesn't mean stuff doesn't happen, just like you see power outages even in the summer. But they're built for things because they look out and say, all right, the chances of this happening maybe once a century. The chances of it being 110 degrees with 100% humidity is probably a lot more realistic. So, well, probably not that, but that's more realistic all the time. All the time. So, yeah, craziness and chaos here, but hey, we're going to Mars. We're going to get there. We're going to look for intelligent life. Think about that. And while that's happening, Ted Cruz has decided to get out of town. Now, he's getting blasted for this. So his communications director, Blair Erskine, took to the Twitter and to probably Instagram and everywhere else to send a 50-second message of what's going on with Ted as he heads off to Cancun. Because here's a guy, you're a senator for the state, your state's going through a cold snap, and you're going to Cancun. But she lays it out perfectly.
Yes, Senator Cruz is in Cancun right now. But, you know, here at his offices, we say big whoop. Senator Cruz deserves to relax, unwind, unplug, recharge, like you would a power outlet. Okay. Or his power grid's going to go out, and we can't be having that. Not good. That's too important. So he's got to take care of his light, which comes from the inside. And it's just like, why can't he have his eat, pray, love moment like everybody else can? It's just funny to me. It's funny that whenever he's here in America and he's doing his little jokes on Twitter, everybody says, "Go away, Ted. We hate you." But then when he goes away to Cancun, everybody says, "Well, where's Ted? Why isn't he doing his little jokes on Twitter?" Now, sometimes you just don't know what you got till it's gone. And that should be a lesson for the Americans wondering where Senator Ted Cruz is at this morning.
Yeah, I don't, if I was there, I wouldn't care. I mean, it's, what's he going to do? Like, what can you do? Are you going to go, is he going to fix anything? What if he had this out there for a long time? Can I go? That'd be. Do you have room? I'll even wear a mask for an hour or two. It's not that long of a flight from Texas. Chad, it's silly, right? It's silly. And what's funny is the media is handling this as if he's done something wrong. Andrew Cuomo, the governor of New York, is under investigation for deaths in nursing homes, for all of these things that is absolutely nuts. I mean, the stuff that he's done and how they hid it. Did I say hide it? I did. How they hid it, how they blocked, how they did all of this stuff, how he's threatened people, how people have been pushing this right and left for the last several months. Hey, you got to look into this. Hey, but it was, he's bad, Ted, because it's cold. Well, the people. What's Ted? Ted, I know he looks a lot like Jack Frost, but he can't fix it. But it's just hilarious the way that the people react over this. Cuomo was obstructionist / granny killer, some would say. Oh, and let's not forget his book and his Emmy. He won an Emmy. By the way, the book is spectacular. So if you guys want to know what the book's called, love this. Love this name of this book. American Leadership. American Crisis. Leadership Lessons from the COVID-19 Pandemic. It's the name of his book. Just want to let you know that. If you were wondering, what's that book again? Oh, yeah, that's that book again. He also won an Emmy. So, spectacular. We'll see how that goes. Ted Cruz is bad because he went to Cancun. Is optics great? No, they're not great. But when are optics great for somebody like Ted Cruz? People on the right who love Ted Cruz and his constitutional stance in everything and the way that he challenges a lot. And even at times his sense of humor, they love him. And the people on the left hate him no matter what. So here we go. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program, talk a little jobs, and yes, today, something big.
Democrats on Capitol Hill today are expected to unveil an immigration reform bill, keying in on the priorities laid out by President Biden on the first day he took office. The legislation would create an 8-year path to citizenship for the 11 million undocumented people in this country. That includes the so-called dreamers who were brought to the U.S. as children and the most vulnerable immigrants coming from war zones or fleeing gang violence. They would get a green card after passing background checks. History has shown it is not easy to get immigration bills passed no matter what party's in power. The Biden administration is hoping to break that trend.
I don't know if he will. This is the place where the Republicans need to stay strong and stay together. We're going to touch on that and the frustration that I think a lot of people have, including a lot of people who are legal immigrants. I have a great story about that. A lady that works next door who runs the cafe and owns the cafe. We're going to talk a bit about that and her frustration. Just like my grandfather, who passed away last year, had huge frustration with the immigration system itself, but also so much of how it became so political, and it was all for their gain and for nobody else's. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us, Raycon. Best earbuds around. I love my Raycons. I tell everybody, they're asking me all the time, do you really love your Raycons? I don't just love my Raycons. I wear my Raycons all the time. When I'm out, working out, I'm wearing them. When I am relaxing, sometimes when I chill at the house and listen to the podcast or listen to an audiobook, I'm wearing them. When I'm working, because I do a lot of video conference calls, I'm wearing them. And the thing is, there's times when even I'm not listening to anything, you don't feel them. They're incredible. Best sound, best quality, best design, and a fit that is like no other. Get your Raycons now. Save yourself money. Don't buy any of those ones with the white stems and the cord. You don't need that. These start well under $100, and you will find nothing better. 45-day money-back guarantee. Try them for yourself. Save an extra 15%. Go to buyraycon.com/Chad. Try them for yourself. You're going to be amazed. Buyraycon.com/Chad. Buyraycon.com/Chad. Chad Benson Show.
If you like talk radio like Chad Benson likes his meals, you've come to the perfect place for takeout.
Oh, immigration, front and center again. You knew it was going to be front and center at some point in time. He is doing everything he can to get something passed when it comes to immigration. By that, I mean Biden and the Democrats. How many people are here illegally? We don't even know. No idea. They throw around this arbitrary, bizarre number. It's like, well, I think it's 11 million. And that's not true. Not true at all. I would put it closer to 20. Would I be surprised if it was 17? Nah. Would I be surprised if it was 25? Nah. But I'm just saying, let's split the difference, say like 20 million. And so they're rolling out the immigration bill. And they want to get people the opportunity to get a green card immediately, and from there have a pathway to citizenship for 8 years. I'm a hard no. I'm a hard no on that. Not that I don't think we should welcome. I absolutely do. I think we need to do more. I think we need to bring more people here. 100%. We're not producing children like we used to. Population's getting older. We have opportunities here, and I want it to be look. It's meritocracy. I want to bring smart, bright, brilliant, as well as people that are just coming here to work. Some of them may want to live here forever and become a citizen. Others may want to come here temporarily. That's fine. We need to fix the system. We're trying to find out who the stowaways are when nobody wants to do what? Patch the holes in the ship as it takes on water and sinks. We can't do that. The Republicans, this is the hill you die on. There are some you're just like, it ain't worth it. Yeah, I do. It's like with your kids, right? And if you're a parent, you recognize this. There's just some things it's like, it's not worth the fight. Some things are worth the fight. That's not worth the fight. This is worth the fight.
Democrats don't appear to have enough Republican support to pass this bill as it stands right now. So the question is, will they go at it alone with just Democrats and no Republican support? That could end up being a very watered down version of this bill. So still a very long way to go on this one.
Very long way to go. But this is where you put the fight in. But also, if you're interested in fixing, if you're interested in a solution that will be compromised, you're going to have your must-haves and your wants, and both sides will get. And it won't be perfect because nothing ever is. And in a day and age where people find everything to bitch about, you've got to stop worrying about what somebody's going to say on the internet about you. Oh, what if they get mad at us because we voted for this and they're going to tear us apart? Who cares? It's not real. It's not real life. It's not. All the people that are pissed off at Ted Cruz, 95% of them don't live in his state. He doesn't care. So don't worry about that. But this is the hill if you're the Republicans. This is it. Legal immigration is great. And I've talked to several legal immigrants. My father my grandfather was a naturalized citizen. He came here from Mexico. He did everything correctly. It took him a long time. He owned businesses and homes. He went through the process. He's not a fan for this. He's always said we need to make it easier, especially for people like on the border in Arizona, Texas, California, deal with it in a much different way. People in, say, Michigan, maybe they don't realize what it's like. They're not in it like people along the border are. But the reality is as a country, we need to be in it across the board and have an understanding. And we want to have solutions. Let's make it easier for people who want to come here, and maybe they want to work here for 90 days. They're coming here strictly to earn some money, send it back to their family. Maybe they want to come here for a year and do the same thing, and they've got an opportunity. Or maybe they'd like the opportunity to come here for good. Yes, there's ways of going about doing this that's right. But let's fix the holes in the systems and get those plugged up as best that we can. Then we can sort out a lot of the other stuff. But this is the hill, Republicans, when it comes to immigration, that you must die on, if you will. Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show.
Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
We go to the most promising side to really unlock the information about that web past and the question, was there ancient life during that period where on Earth life was arising?
My life was arising. Yes. I'm going to screw this guy's name up, but he's one of the guys that's dealing and handling all of the stuff that's going on Mars today. His name is Thomas Zurbuchen. I'm going to go with that. But we're up there. We're going to check out everything, and then hopefully we can get some answers about...
It's, of course, trying to make significant progress in answering one of the questions that has been with us
for sure
for many centuries. Namely, are we alone in the universe?
Are we alone in the universe? We're going to find out, Thomas. We're going to find out. I don't know if we'll find out today. But we may find out, but maybe not today. We've been told that there is already a base, camp, and station beneath the surface of Mars. That's where the Federation meets. So maybe this is just, maybe they have to deliver some stuff, and this is kind of the thing that they have to do. Like, okay, look, we got to pretend like we're going there to take pictures or get soil samples. I mean, we got to drop this. We got mail for everybody. So this is how we have to do it. I don't know. But I'm kind of excited about it. Great hope, man. The things we're going to, in the next decade, we are going to expand in so many ways. AI is going to be huge. Like if somebody came to me and say, what would you tell this is what I tell Jack every day. I said, first of all, the more you learn, the more you earn, and there's plenty of ways to get an education, and learn how to code and learn how to do stuff in AI, artificial intelligence. That is the utmost. If you could do one thing, if I was starting out today, I was 19 years old, I had some understanding of computers, and I was going to be, all right, I'm picking a path where I know the future is bright, and I will always work, no matter what, because there will always be opportunities. I would do AI. Code, learn. But through all of these things that we're doing, visiting Mars, doing all of the things that we're doing when we're shooting rockets off, we're doing, oh my God, it's why are we doing? Because through those things, through those breakthroughs, we benefit in huge ways. And that to me is awesome. There's a reason that we can come up with a vaccine in the period of time that we came up with it. There's a reason that it took them 2 days to crack it. That's what Moderna said. It took us about 48 hours. We figured it out. It's because of technology. That's where it's at. If somebody said, hey, Chad, what would you do today for a school? Like if you were going to build a school out, you'd get the very basics about English and math, but it would be all STEM. We'd be coding. You would be learning each and every day about all of these things in science, in technology, and building out. Because I'm teaching for the future. We're still teaching for the past. And that's where we should be going. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. Tweet at us. Text the program. Jobs, not great, not bad. But, you know, the economy, we're all participating in it. The numbers came out today. Some surprises, some stuff that's not so surprising. And we're in kind of a waiting period right now.
First-time filings for unemployment insurance jumped unexpectedly last week after some improvement in recent weeks. 861,000 claims is the highest in a month. The hope is falling infection rates and increasing vaccinations will help businesses and services resume. But new claims for unemployment show the labor market is struggling to regain momentum. Supplemental unemployment benefits expire next month.
Yeah, and last month, the spending for the average American has increased. We increased pretty decently, and because people had to spend. Now, the first time people got checks, they were spending it. And they're like, oh, well, we don't know how long this thing's going to last. We're going to flatten the curve. Life will be good. They're giving us a bunch of free money. I don't have to worry about anything. They went out. They spent money on stuff they wanted. So much of this last bit of spending was stuff that people need. So we're going to get there, but it's going to take some time. It is. And I think that's what, if I am a governor of these states, I'm out there every day when I have a chance to say, look, things are moving along. Wish it was moving faster, but I will tell you this. We will be reopened. School next year will be in full force. We will get to the point where we're going to give people the opportunity to get the vaccination. But if they don't, it doesn't matter, because as long as you've had it or you feel comfortable living with it, through it, and around it, even if you didn't get it, we're going to get life back to normal. We're not going to allow people who don't want to get the vaccination to hold everybody hostage. And I would be out there every day repeating that, giving people confidence and hope that they can look, because what that does is it spurs the economy. Okay, our governor said this. This is where we think we're going to go. And I can feel rest assured that there is going to be a date, and I would put a date out there. So we'll see if any of them do that. Because when you listen to Biden the other day, he's like, I don't want to make predictions, because people tell you don't make predictions, because if they don't come true, then everybody's mad at you. But maybe Christmas this year we could be kind of back to normal. Hopefully by this time next year we won't, have to social distance this month. That is not a hopeful sound. Now, you may be throwing stuff out there and think, man, if I come in August, people are going to think I'm a winner. But I think for a lot of people, he believes, well, there could be there could be anything. Anything is possible. But right now, the unknown is the worst part of it. Because people feel like and I'm here to tell you guys right now, and I've said it for a very long time, people have a breaking point. Most people are there. Some people got there much earlier last year. Some went over the top with it. But if you think for an instant that this thing's going to be out there and people are going to be going and getting vaccines, and then you tell them, well, now that you got a vaccine, you've got to live life the exact same way you did when you didn't have one, people are going to be like, no, I don't, and I won't. Well, then they're going to be in trouble. No, they're not, because eventually you're going to look and see, wow, the critical mass of people who aren't doing everything that we would like them to and that we have told them to do, no matter how many times we change script and move the goalpost, will be overwhelming. Because people have a breaking point. It's getting closer. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Yesterday So we're talking about immigration. Obviously, huge thing today. They're going to roll out the immigration, and the fight is on. And he wants to give people a pathway to citizenship, give people who've been here since December 31st, 2020. If you've been here on or before that, you'll have a chance to get a green card immediately, and then 8 years pathway to citizenship if you haven't done anything. If you're not a murderer. And that's what they're pushing for. And I've talked to a lot of people that are legal immigrants that have come here and they've done it the right way. And they're not happy with this. And they understand. They came here. But the frustration is they feel like, okay, so people jumped the line. People leaped over all of this stuff to do something. And we can all, if you're honest with yourself, you'd have done the same thing. But that's not how we go about doing things. And immigration is a great thing. The fact that people want to come here because we are that beacon of hope, we are that giant, huge light on that mountaintop that people want, and what America is, and the opportunities and all of the things. That is awesome. But yes, people, it's funny. You talk to people who are legal immigrants, and they may want their family. Oh yeah, I'd like to do that, but no, I don't want everybody to do it, because they're pissed. They feel like it's how are you doing that? Like, what are you talking about? Yesterday, this is why I love America. I went yesterday. So we got a little cafe next door, and they've had some issues because we have a pretty decent sized business park that has been mostly a ghost town for the last 12 months. And so I try to go down there every day, and I buy lunch for the crew, and we do all kinds of stuff like that. And I'm always going over there. And her name's Tricia. She runs the place. Family immigrated from China to Toronto, and then they came here. And she's hilarious. Love her. Very invested in politics. Just loves everything that is America. She's as American as it gets. But I was joking. I'm like, this is why I love America. I'm telling Pablo, who born and raised here in Arizona, but of Mexican descent, his family is we're eating a meatball sandwich. So Italian-American sandwich. With a lady who's come here from Hong Kong and China, and the guy who made it is from Central America. I'm like, this is why I love America. But she said, like my grandfather, a lot of people have echoed, we can't do this. We can't allow this to happen. There's got to be ways about doing it right. And I absolutely agree. And it's not about not understanding and having empathy. It is about having empathy, and it's also about understanding that we can't allow this, but we can be more open. Because it's not fair to people who've done it correctly. It's not fair to the American citizens. They're saying, why aren't we a sovereign nation? And it's sure in the hell not fair to people who come here and the yo-yo of maybe I can't, maybe I will, maybe I can't. Who knows what will happen? But remember, the politicians love this because it's about them. It's about the problem. It's about raising money. It's not about the solution. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. Tweet at us. Text the program. Once again, if you haven't heard, wintry weather throughout the country, especially in Texas. But Ted Cruz is fine.
Yes, Senator Cruz is in Cancun right now. But, here at his offices, we say big whoop. Senator Cruz deserves to relax, unwind, unplug, recharge, like you would a power outlet.
Blair Erskine, his communications director. It gets better.
Or his power grid's going to go out, and we can't be having that. That's too important. So he's got to take care of his light, which comes from the inside. And it's just like, why can't he have his eat, pray, love moment?
Phil, he's got to take care of his light, which comes from the inside. It's on the inside. Eat, pray, love. That's a movie, right? There's a movie. Why can't he have his 50 Shades of Grey moment? 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. So, of course, everybody hates him on the internet, and the memes are awesome. They are spectacular. They are. Have fun, Ted. Have fun. I don't know what they want you to do. Go and fix the grid, I guess. Well, you could fix it. How's he going to fix it? he have tools? I don't think so. Is he going to litigate it? No. Is he going to tweet at it? Is he going to talk to it? No. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show. Twitter, tweet, text. Love hearing from all of you. AMAC, Association Mature American Citizens, fastest growing over 50 organization in the country, giving you great things like retail, restaurant, hotel discounts on everything from travel to amusement parks to movies, you name it. They've got all of these amazing things. And the membership comes with more than just that they're fighting on your behalf for things like common sense immigration reform, fighting for the First and Second Amendment, and so many different things. And they're there to help you. They want to make sure things like Social Security and Medicare are solvent. Maybe you've got questions. When should you take Social Security? How do I sign up for Medicare? It's really confusing. They'll help you with all of those questions and more. You can join today. It's pennies a day. It's $16 a year. Go to amac.us/Chad. amac.us/Chad. Join today. amac.us/Chad. Chad Benson Show.
You stink like fear and white male privilege to me.
I do often out myself verbally as a gender. My pronouns are they, them, and I'm proud to be a gender.
Are you stupid? What? Are you kidding me? Not a great way to use your white privilege.
Some people get it, some people don't.
You're listening to The Chad Benson Show.
I know that I am most certainly not the Limbaugh that you tuned in to listen to today. I, like you, very much wish Rush was behind this golden microphone right now. For over 32 years, Rush has cherished you, his loyal audience. It is with profound sadness I must share with you directly that our beloved Rush, my wonderful husband, passed away this morning due to complications from lung cancer.
Rush's wife yesterday reading and just opening up, talking about the fact that Rush had passed away. Rush Limbaugh, 70. Pain in the ass. He's a bigot. He's a sexist. He was an entertainer, and he said things that were over the top at times. Do I think that he hated women? No. Do I think that he took on the Democrats and media in a way that was much different and pissed a lot of people off? Yes, of course he did. Do I think he went over the line at times? I think, of course. Everybody who's in a business like that, who's going to make it in some way, shape, or form, especially for people like him. And remember, him and Howard Stern and a few others, they were able to do things that back then you could get away with. Howard said, I couldn't do it today. There's no way. He would never last a day. Now, he's changed, and let's be real. If you go look at Howard Stern's career, for a lot of people who are younger, you don't recognize who that Howard was compared to this. And same thing with Rush. I break Rush's career up in two ways. His first part of his career where he was blowing up and he was the perfect storm, it was incredible. It was. The entertainment value. I'm talking about just watching and listening to the entertainment value. On the other side, there was controversy, but there was also power. So he passed away. He was a flawed individual, like everybody else is. And I'm the first one to say I'm absolutely flawed as well. And I, God willing, last that many years in radio, on the air like he was. Of course you're going to say. And nowadays, you can't not offend somebody. Saying hi could offend somebody. Holding a door open for somebody could offend somebody. But a flawed human being. And the fact that people are reveling in his death show you how flawed we all are. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Again, it was a quick trip. We made it to Mars. We're gone. Boom. We're off to Mars. Again, quick trip.
We've talked about this. 30 Seconds to Mars is the name of a band. It's not a fact.
Oh, it's not? No, it's not. 7 months. That's how long. 7 months, kids, to get there. It's pretty cool. Let's be honest. It's kind of neat. I love it. I love it. Beautiful, baby. Beautiful. Mars, We're going to be in space one day. I love this stuff. It's incredible. You should too. Soak it up. Enjoy the rest of your day. Wherever you are, however cold or warm you are, have a blessed rest of your day. What is it? I see Friday. Night-night, Jack.
This is the Chad Benson Show.